Guardians of the twilight light, colors spread like a myth untold. Peacock songs so wild and bold, winged echoes pierce the air so clear. Dreams awaken when they hear.
Hey there, this is Joy Rising 120. We're going to do a winter Christmas themed centerpiece today. I'm going to use this bowl here, decorative bowl, and I'm going to cut this foam, wet foam, down to size so that it fits snugly into the bowl. Keep the extra small pieces because you can put those together into other containers later on. Push it down in so it's holding itself firmly in there. I have water with the preservative and Young Living Thieves household cleaner in my water to help the flowers last longer. I'm going to fully saturate this wet foam here. And in flower shops, you would normally soak these in a bucket that's already full of preservative water because you're usually working with quite a few at a time, especially around the holidays. But I'm only doing one, so I'm just soaking it right here in this bowl. Make sure it gets nice and wet. These are good for transport as well because this will stay wet and you don't have to have excess water in your bowl so it's not sloshing around and spilling. Make sure it's good and wet before I get all the flowers in there. And it's always good to add water to it daily as well. Or after you've transported it somewhere, fill it up and make sure there's extra water there. All right, there we go. All right. So, I have my flowers that I'm going to be using laid out already, so I have an idea of how many I have of each kind. So I can divide them up, balance them out. I'm going to use my snapdragons for the end pieces to establish the length. I have these two that are similar in how many blooms there are. This one is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use these on the ends so they match more. And turn them in a direction that makes more sense to see it from whatever might be what you consider your front side, if there is one. You don't need too much stem on this because otherwise your stems will go too far in and it will block other stems from being able to go in. So kind of figure out the length you want it. I'm going to do mine more compact today. Let's try that. Let's push that into the center. Right along the top of the ridge of the bowl here. Same for this one. I'm going to face him this way. I kept these little pieces of flower that fell off because I'm going to use these later on for a little surprise. Make use of them so they're not wasted. Alright, so we're about even. Okay. I'm going to put this one on the top here. And the thing about creating flower arrangements or art or anything, you can make it however you want it to be. Because we're creating. Okay, I'm going to go in with place these white roses and look at these. How lovely those are. Some green in there, white and ruffly. Perfect. I have 6 of these. Again, pretty short stem. right in the front. I'll keep him off the edge here. Remove any of these bruised petals or the leaves that go too far down that block the stems from going in far enough. Fill in, create an angle here. These have some that are kind of too bruised. I don't always remove them all because I like the variations, but this guy got a little bit squished. And match on this side, kind of the angle and the direction you've done here. Last white rose of the 6 total. Also a little squished. I'm putting him on what I consider my back side of the arrangement, just because where I'm going to be sitting at, I'll be looking mostly at this side, but anyone on the other side, it's really just going to be on top of a countertop. I'm not being rude to anyone. But anyone walking by has flowers to look on that side as well. This works well for a centerpiece on a table, hallway table. In that case, you would put less on one side if it's going to be up against a flatter surface. If there's a mirrored surface there, you probably want to have something on the back so there's something to look at. Looking for my really pretty, more open red rose. To put these towards the front. These still have their thorns, so I'm going to watch that. Trim those off for now just because I don't want to get stabbed. Keep that. Alright. I have 6 red roses as well. Right here. From a little bit lower down, he's a darker color to create that depth to the arrangement so they're not all one level. Being darker colored, they naturally do that to our eyes anyway. Seem like they're further back, more of a shadow. Still continuing the line that I want here. I could have gone much longer, much wider. It just depends on what you're trying to go for and to create. I'm still keeping my petals for my little surprise I'm going to do later on. Okay. I'm just mimicking the shape, style, placement on both sides. Now I have 2 red roses left. So I'm going to put one on this side and then alternate and put the other one on this side. Making sure I get enough into the foam so they don't fall out, but also aren't breaking it by hitting it on the edge too much. Some more of those thorns. Those can be not fun, I have learned over the years. Wow, these guys are not kidding today. Backside of leaves too sometimes. All right, right about here, go at the angle. Getting my overview for myself to see what I have going on here. Okay. Now to the Hypericum coffee beans. Gorgeous red ones. They're like the size of cranberries. Very pretty. A few of the light colored ones here. Very pretty. Figure out which ones are bigger, match more in size and shape. Don't have to do this, just something I do. I like to keep things a little bit more balanced that way. And obviously there's floral design styles that are completely about being asymmetrical and abstract, which is also really cool. Need to do one of those soon. More of a Japanese style. One of the first styles I actually started out with when I was learning about all this. I'm gonna put this one in the front because he's my one that's the lightest. I keep calling them he's, that's interesting. The flowers today are he's. It's more masculine in reds and whites maybe. All right, these are really full. I had already pulled off the pieces that had broken. Trimmed them down a little bit. All right, see which direction it wants to go. Up top, filling in. These are really strong, sturdy ones. Sometimes they're very thin, stemmed, dainty, tiny little berries on it. I'm not sure if they're berries, but I'll have to look that up too. It's amazing what you don't know after so many years of working with something until you think about it and you look it up and you learn. All right, now we're gonna alternate two red ones here because I have my two red roses here. So I have a really heavy one here. I'll probably move towards the center. I'm gonna keep these for here. And they only need a very short stem because they have so much of the length already here. To fill in that space. All right, other side, over here. Foam is doing good. We still have lots of space for stems in the foam because I kept those stems shorter so they're not completely filling it in. Now here's a trick on this one. You can cut the top piece off and then the bottom piece off and you get two pieces. Looking for some blank spots, and I think I'll fill in on the ends here a little bit more too. Why will we put those red roses on the end? Over here. No, it's not too matchy-matchy, but it's similar. Okay, I have only one of each of these, so I waited so that I can figure out where I want to put them to really showcase them. This Queen Anne's lace has a very delicate, almost hollow centered stem. I usually wait until the last of whatever I'm arranging for these kind of stems so they're not broken and hit too much. And then I have one, so I'm going to put it up in this area, layered on top of that rose. I have one of these. Honestly, I keep forgetting to look these up. I don't know what they're called, but they're super cool. this one over here. And it came with this, but it's only a yellow one, and I really don't want that in there right now. So I'll put that in another arrangement I'm doing later with purples and yellows, complementary colors. I have some greens. Greens, same trick. There's 3 sections I can cut from this. I'm going to use these to fill in between whatever I've already created. At a flower shop, you would have access to every bit of green you need. I only have a few stems, so I'm just going to do the best I can here, just so the foam is not as visible. These are really beautiful. Create that Christmas green look without it being evergreen. All right, same for this one. Cut this down into sections. Need to sharpen my knife. Can't right now. Recently lost my knife sharpener. I have one on the way. So my knife is a little dull, which is not excellent, but making do. Okay. Different greens for variation. And my last green, also cutting that into sections. Sometimes you gotta break them and then give them a nice clean cut. You can always use scissors to do this. I was trained not to use scissors, so that's just why I use a knife. But you can always use, and there's wonderful floral scissors that really cut nice and clean without pinching the stem. One of the reasons why I was told never to use them. Not sure if the really good ones existed back then, quite a few years ago. And knives were the best way to go at that point. There, you guys have some pretty thick woody stems. Okay. Taking a peek around, seeing where there's some blank spots. I'll feature this little guy right here to fill in, and there we have it. A little bit less on this side because again I'm focusing on this side, but it could have been divided up more evenly between all sides if desired. All right. I've been blocking. Let's see. So from the ends to the sides to the top. There we have it. And I will put up the link for this Young Living Thieves household cleaner. I am a brand partner, not trying to sell to anyone, just letting everyone know. And I'll include the link for that in the information in the description. And until next time, keep finding the beauty hidden in plain sight.